Ubisoft just recently announced and made it official Far Cry 5 being released on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. No Nintendo Switch. Probably take like 2 minutes of power and it would shut down.
Yeah.
Being released on February 27th, 2018. Far Cry 5. You'll be a role of a new junior deputy in Hope County, Montana is the setting. We'll be in Montana. And you are in the middle of an attempted takeover by a doomsday cult. In it, you actually form your own resistance and recruit human and animal groups to help you fight. And you'll be fighting across farms, forests, mountains, and rivers of Montana. What did you guys think of the trailer for Far Cry 5?
I was pretty impressed with what they showed. I've never... Not to sound discouraging to anybody, I've never lived in a farmland area, so to kind of take that. Don't get upset. I'm just saying.
I'm from Wyoming.
Yeah,
so
what are you trying
of
to say
course
about Wyoming?
I'm from the city. Leave me
I've been to
alone.
Montana. Hope County is one of my favorite fictional places in Montana.
Once again, it'll be interesting to go and kill people there. So.
Wow! I'll call my mom and warn her. Jesus.
In the game. Relax.
I know. I thought you meant in multiplayer. She's really serious about this one.
Okay.
No, of course
We might do co-op.
It is a co-op. You can do co-op.
Do the whole
She'll
storyline.
make you
Join
ride
that, do the
bitch
whole
on the back of
storyline,
her
you can do
motorcycle.
co-op.
Yeah.
So that's what we'll do, Mo. We'll battle up on co-op.
I'm ready.
If you have a Scorpio, we'll do it.
See what happens.
If you're good enough.
If I'm good enough,
Yeah, if you're good enough.
I'm plenty good enough.
Yes, he is. And Rich, what did you think of the trailer?
I think it looks interesting. I want to see the setting in Montana, of course. I like the idea of the homegrown terrorist kind of thing. I like that apparently it's 4 brothers that are running the cult. So that implies like a general type of system, kind of like Shadow of Mordor, where you probably pick them off one by one to gain territory. And that always implies me when it's a family thing, you got 4 brothers, who's their father, is what I would be thinking. That's got to be your big bad, possibly. And then I like that you've got these other followers that you're trying to build up. I like that idea. Wasn't well done in Mafia 3, but I thought that was an interesting idea of, you want to work on the weapons trade, go work on this lieutenant. You want to work on your money being funneled through this business, then work on this general, or whatever. I like that idea, so we'll see how it's implemented.
I just want to team up with the preacher with a shotgun. That's all I care for.
Of course.
That's it.
Have you played any of the Far Cries?
Number 3.
3?
3.
The
And
Insanity trailer?
and then the first one, the very first Far Cry.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
played the first one, I played the third one, I played 4, I didn't play Primal.
Okay, so I only played 1, Far Cry 4. I do have Primal. I got it on Black Friday for cheap. I think $20, I think. So I haven't played it. I do want to play it. But Far Cry 1, that was released in 2004, was in Micronesia, was the setting, so a tropical island. Far Cry 2, 4 years later, released in 2008. That was setting in Africa. The third one was released in 2012, so they had 4 years in between 1, 2, and 3, or 2 and 3. That was set in islands in the Pacific. And then 2 years later, they come out with 4, which was in the Himalayas. And that has
Troy Baker.
Troy Baker
Yeah.
was in it. So Far Cry 4. And then the Far Cry Primal, which was set in the Stone Age, was in February of 2016. And now they're coming out with 2018 for Far Cry 5 in Montana. And exactly what you said, Mo, the first one setting in the States. And it's a big change from all the other settings and then Montana. I do like the storyline that they're going. Again, it might be a little too real for what's going on right now during the United States. Might be
What are you talking about?
might be a setting of our future.
There's no Russians in this. What are you talking about?
Glimpse
Conrad?
of our future. I loved Far Cry 4. That was my only Far Cry that I played. I really enjoyed it.
3's better.
I love the first-person shooter in open world. That's what I wish Call of Duty, that was one of my things I wish, in a prior episode, I wish Call of Duty would change. Have an open world, have that 60 FPS, that smooth, all those guns, an open world on an island. I loved it. And so, Primal, did you guys were interested in Primal at all?
I think that answers my question.
I like it because I think there's a possible, there's this kind of thing on Reddit of people thinking that all the Ubisoft games are related to each other. So the protagonists of the games have some traits that would be similar of people that are descended from that line in Assassin's Creed, where they could be tapped to be in the Assassin's Brotherhood kind of thing. So Primal, especially when you're hunting, you kind of go into eagle vision, which is one of the mechanics in Assassin's Creed. Just like in Watch Dogs, a lot of the mechanics there are a very technology-based kind of assassination kind of thing. So thinking that it's all an interweaving story, that it goes to weird places, that it's not necessarily that same Assassins versus Templars thing, but it all has that commonality and then it spreads out, I think that's an interesting idea. Story potential, game mechanics, and it makes all the Ubisoft games more interesting. It's like how everybody tries to fit all the Disney movies into one, how they're all connected. This one's the mother of Tarzan, and she's...
It's like trying to get the Zelda timeline.
Yeah, that's stuff that interests me. I like seeing those little connections.
It
More
does.
than just Easter eggs.
The one interesting thing is that all the Far Cries are set apart. They're all different, different storyline, different locations. So that keeps my interest going for them. Like, even though I haven't played the other ones, I've watched people play them, video of gameplay and so forth, just because it wasn't something I wanted to at the time devote my time to. But I did dive into number 3. So I find it interesting that they always change the setting. It's interesting them coming to the States, and I want to see how they incorporate it. From what we saw in the video game trailer, it looks interesting. It looks very polished as well. Looks very polished. So I want to see the flying mechanics and also the driving mechanics and also how they incorporate all that into this open world, especially in first person.
That's the one thing I loved about Far Cry 4, and the only Far Cry I played, was for each mission, there's usually about 3 or 4 ways that you can actually take down the mission. Like, you can fucking just go balls deep and pray and spray to shoot. You can drive. You can fly over if you want. That's what I did like about the series, about the Far Cry 4. There's always more than one way to beat a mission.
So that opening when you meet Troy Baker's character, and he gives you the choice, like, are you gonna stand in my way, or are you just gonna let me ascend like I'm planning to? Did you choose the one where you're like, nah, I don't live here, whatever, I guess I'm the descendant of the king, but go ahead, I'm not gonna stand in your way? You get an achievement and it takes you to the end of the game because you're like, I got no beef with you. If you want to be in charge, just send me back home. I'm not gonna...
I started sucking them off.
Stop it.
Oh, wow.
And I beat the game that way.
Stop.
Wow.
No, I've enjoyed in Far Cry because a lot of times, especially Western RPGs, there's the primary character so that you can explain how you progress from knowing nothing to being the super champion at the end of the game. Yeah, I prefer a story where, as opposed to some of the other things like KOTOR, where you're a Jedi that had your mind wiped and then you slowly regain your memories and that's how you gain your skills. Far Cry 3 was a perfect example. You're a kid on vacation, you get taken prisoner, and you either gain those skills to fight back against your kidnappers, your tormentors, and get off the island, or you get killed in the process. That was a natural progression, as opposed to, I'm a super warrior, but I forgot how to, or I don't have access to my weapons, and then you have to fight all these other characters to eventually ramp up, and now you have full access to your powers again. I think that's sloppy storytelling. I want to see your character grow, and when they change the protagonist for each game, then you don't have that. Remember Force Unleashed, the second one, where remember at the end of the first one, you were super powerful, like you're pulling Star Destroyers from the sky. Then they have to go back to, you can barely hit a stormtrooper, so you had to change all that whole thing up. So
Well, it was a clone, right?
yeah, but it was what Starkiller is capable of, and then you basically put a restraining bolt on him and
That's
you
one.
start over again.
That's one thing I always like too. And talking about another game that they also have kind of in LinkedIn, like what you were saying about Watch Dogs. In the first Watch Dogs, after the tragedy that happens, he goes and develops these set of skills
Yeah.
that he didn't have,
He was a hacker, but he didn't use them the same way.
But
Yeah.
he wasn't even a professional. Even when
Yeah.
you get to the start of it, like when you're still starting out in the game, you still started learning from other hackers, trying to learn your skills and skill sets and so forth. You're progressing as your own character.
And you were doing stuff
And-
with the mob, not knowing what their place in the world
Yeah.
was in your story. Yeah.
Yeah, and even the new Watch Dogs, the progression is still there. There's still progression for your character to be built on what you feel that's how you would play.
Yeah.
You know, I find that with Far Cry they do that really well, and the storyline is on top for me on that. I'm impressed with that. I like that.
Well, and that's why you're doing a militia building up against this cult.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. You're a normal person. They burn down your store or your farm or whatever.
Deputy in Hope County.
Yeah, there you go, and you basically you get this. So it makes sense that you're somewhat used to using a pistol, but then you take the law into your own hands and slowly progress, and now you're taking on
You're
a whole
Leon
army.
Kennedy going to Raccoon City on your first day on the job.
Now I can truly go around and be like, do you know who the fuck I am? I'm the police.
Wait,
The police.
you don't think Far Cry is going to have a master of lockpicking, do you?
Ooh. No, you have to smoke some herb for life.
I'm the police.
In Montana, find some herb.
Yeah, and in Montana, Jill sandwich is something completely different.
Find some herb.
Just
I like the release date of February 27th, 2018. Get away from the fall. Let all those games come out. It worked out for Horizon, which PlayStation announced 3.4 million sold of Horizon. It came out in February. A new IP as well. So you can sell in the month of February.
Yeah. That game does not go on sale. Like, I tried to wait for a discount. No, that never happened. And I don't buy games used. I used to.
What's not Titanfall 2? You know, after a week, go on $20 discount.
I did buy it on super cheap. Great
So
game.
most
I'm playing it
everyone-
now. So.
Yeah.
But
But Far Cry 5, hopefully they keep innovating, so it's not just the same with 4, but I think the storyline, I think that's going to be the change, and I like it. The territories, if they do that, one brother has a territories, take that down, and
Yeah.
more than likely the father would be the one behind everything. The father will probably do something with the kids when you find out this is not what we
Well,
want.
they always have their tower to unlock parts of the map, but it's Montana, so it's either going to be mountain peaks or they have to replace that with something else. It would make sense if one of the brothers runs this district of the county, you take that over, and now you kind of have the whole possibilities open up because you don't have to. You're not under constant surveillance because you took out his part of the army, so they don't have people on the streets watching for you to walk through anymore. So it's safe. I like that idea. It's better than just climbing a tower, lighting something on fire, and then doing the jump off into the haystack and going to the next one. Rinse and repeat.
it's crazy how much controversy that the trailer got already. I mean, geez.
Yes.
It got a lot of controversy, but that's a different discussion, you know. But
Once we get closer.
once we get closer, yeah,
That is a good part of the country,
yeah. But
or they have that mentality.
if Rockstar can do it, hey, push those boundaries.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Because Rockstar, they do it with every
Every
GTA game.
Yeah, like every GTA game. So, whatever. Let's see it. I want to play it. I'm interested.
We're gonna find more out in E3. Ubisoft will be a part of their press conference. Assassin's Creed, Far Cry 5, and The Crew 2, and more probably surprises.
the
But that's
Mario Rabbids crossover.
Mario Rabbids. So they do have a solid press conference already.
Yeah, I don't think
lined
it'll
up.
be in the Nintendo. The short
The
list.
30-minute Nintendo spotlight that they had planned. 29 minutes of Mario Odyssey of him jumping on his hat. Can't wait.
Well, the hat's a character now. I don't know if you know this, but it's actually alive and has eyes, and
He's more important than Luigi. Ooh, how does Luigi feel about that?
we know how he feels about that.
Just watch the Mario Kart trailer.
Luigi's
That's how
not
he
just
feels.
married to Zelda, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Inside joke.
A text message.
Inside joke.
Sent
Everybody
us.
relax. Okay, relax.
So those are our thoughts and reactions of the Far Cry announcement trailer. Please let us know in the comments below what you felt and your impressions were of the trailer.